Now to have a look at the muscles of the arm, starting with the anterior compartment. We will start by talking about the three muscles in the anterior compartment of the arm. Biceps brachii muscle, coracobrachialis, which is a deep muscle not shown here, and brachialis muscle. These three muscles have their own point of origin and insertion. The first one we'll talk about is the biceps brachii. The biceps brachii muscle has two heads of origin. You can remember that easily as the suffix bi represents two. Both heads of the biceps brachii muscle have different origins. The short head originates from the coracoid process of the scapula, and the long head originates from the supraglenoid tubercle of the scapula. There is a mnemonic to remember the origin of this crucial muscle of the arm. You walk shorter to a street corner. You ride longer on a superhighway, where you can associate the coracoid process with the street corner and the superhighway with the supraglenoid tubercle, respectively. As for the insertion of the biceps brachii muscle, both heads unite to form a single large muscle belly that inserts at the radial tuberosity. It also has a soft tissue attachment to the deep fascia of the forearm through a wide expansion of the biceps brachii tendon known as a bicipital aponeurosis. For the biceps brachii muscle to perform its functions, it requires innervation, and it's innervated by the musculocutaneous nerve, which is a branch of the brachial plexus. So what does the biceps brachii do? Well, this muscle has several functions. As mentioned before, the muscles of the anterior compartment of the arm are flexors. Biceps brachii is a powerful flexor of the forearm at the elbow joint. It's important to note, however, that when the forearm is in the pronated position with the palms facing down, the biceps brachii loses its mechanical advantage. With the forearm in the pronated position, left, flexing the elbow will contract the biceps, but only with the forearm in a supinated position does the biceps fully contract to its minimum length. This muscle also assists in the flexion of the arm at the shoulder joint and supination of the forearm. Another action of this muscle is abduction of the arm at the shoulder joint. The long head of the muscle is responsible for this assistive action, whereas the short head is said to facilitate an adduction of the arm at the shoulder joint, which involves the movement of the arm toward the midline of the body. Lastly, this muscle is also said to assist in the internal rotation of the arm at the shoulder joint. Now let's talk about the next muscle that is situated just beneath the biceps muscles. The coracobrachialis originates from the coracoid process of the scapula and extends distally to insert along the anteromedial surface of the humerus. The coracobrachialis is also innervated by the musculocutaneous nerve. As for the action of this small and deep muscle, this muscle assists in flexion and adduction of the arm at the shoulder joint. And just like the biceps brachii, it also assists in the internal rotation of the arm at the shoulder joint. The third and last muscle of the anterior compartment of the arm is the brachialis. The brachialis muscle is a deep muscle but has a large belly. So for that reason, we have to say that behind every great bicep, there's a great brachialis. This muscle originates from the anterior aspect of the humerus and inserts onto the ulnar tuberosity. The muscle is innervated by the same nerve as the other muscles of the anterior compartments of the arm. However, the lateral part of this muscle also receives some innervation from the radial nerve. When the brachialis contracts, it causes flexion of the forearm at the elbow joint, in particular when the forearm is in a pronated position, something that the biceps brachii muscle could not do. That ends our discussion on the three muscles of the anterior compartment of the arm. Let's look at the other structure that passes or reside in the anterior compartment of the arm. If we look at the transverse section passing through the lower 1/3 of the arm, we can see the other structures that are part of the anterior compartment of the arm are. We have the brachial artery, which gives off a muscular branch that supplies the muscles of the anterior compartment. We will jump into the details of the brachial artery at a later stage. For now, let's talk about the nerves that pass through this region of the arm. Then we have the musculocutaneous nerve. As mentioned, before it is a branch of the brachial plexus, and it innervated the muscles in the anterior compartment of the arm. It originates from the lateral cord of the brachial plexus in the axilla. It runs downward and laterally. First, it pierces the coracobrachialis muscle, and then passes downward between the biceps brachii and brachialis muscles. It appears at the lateral margin of the biceps tendon and pierces the deep fascia just above the elbow joint. The musculocutaneous nerve runs down at the lateral aspect of the forearm as the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. Another nerve known as the median nerve passes through the anterior compartment of the arm. The median nerve originated from the medial and lateral cord of the brachial plexus. It runs downward on the lateral side of the brachial artery. However, halfway down its path, it crosses over and runs on the medial side of the brachial artery. Other nerves are the ulnar and radial nerves also pass through the anterior compartment of the arm, as well as the posterior compartment. The ulnar nerve runs on the medial side of the brachial artery up to the level of insertion of the coracobrachialis, where it pierces the medial intermuscular septum and enters the posterior compartment of the arm. It is accompanied by the superior ulnar collateral vessels. At the elbow, it passes behind the medial epicondyle, where it can be palpated with a finger. As for the radial nerve, on leaving the axilla, the radial nerve immediately enters the posterior compartment of the arm and only enters the anterior compartment just above the lateral epicondyle. As you can see, there are also arteries and veins that pass through this section of the arm. We will discuss them at a later stage, as they are mainly the branches of the brachial artery. Another way to visualize the nerves of the anterior compartment of the arm is shown here. As you can see, the nerves arise from the brachial plexus, and as the run downward differentiates into musculocutaneous, median, radial, and ulnar nerves. So you can remember the structures passing the compartment of the arm with the help of this mnemonic. Brooding mat, mocked Yuma ruthlessly, where each capitalized letter can be associated with the name of the structure passing through the anterior compartment of the arm. That concludes our discussion on the anterior compartment of the arm.
Explore our extensive library of over 1,800 video lectures to learn about a wide range of topics. Only on sqadia.com.